The clip that you're about to listen to is from the latest Imp Unpolished episode that we just released today over on our Patreon. If you like what you hear and you decide you want more, all of our patrons, starting even at the lowest tier, get access to the full episode in audio and video format, as well as our entire backlog of bonus episodes that we've recorded up to this point. You can head on over to patreon.com/improvtabletop to learn more and see all the different rewards available there. Now, on with the show. Yeah, Ned is all like, hey, I'll catch up in just a little bit. I really need to go make a tribute to the toilet god. I'll be right back. And so Ned goes running into the bar and kind of off into the back, while the rest of you are gathered out front. And Christian Judd walks up and he's like, hey, man, did you end up going on that date with McKenna?
She actually told me that if I ever spoke to her again, she would punch me in the gut. So I've just been trying to text her.
I mean, worth it, right?
I'm right where I want to be.
And you know where I want to be is up there at that bar getting some food.
Yeah. We love bars as college students. Let's go.
Let's have a fry eating contest.
Yes.
That's, oh boy. And he just walks through the door, and the three of you, just chipper, straight-laced young men pulling up to the bar to order food and nothing else.
Yeah, no alcohol for me, sir.
Yeah, you get up and you sit down in the stools, and it's pretty, it's definitely not rush hour around here. There's only one other patron in the entire building. It's this old woman kind of sitting off in one of the corners. She's kind of all decked out in tie-dye. She's got a headband with her hair all tied up. It's dinner time in October, so it's starting to get dark outside. The mist is rising up even further off of the Henry's Fork. And there's just this one guy behind the bar kind of at the other end. He's wiping down the bar top, and he goes, what would you like to drink, boys?
Bartender, one rum and Coke. Hold the rum, please.
I'll have a water with no ice and no lemon and a straw.
Yeah, he takes the two glasses, plumps them down on the bar in front of you, and he isn't actually looking up to meet any of your gazes. He's just got this very dour complexion. And as he moves, he puts the glasses down on the bar and slides them towards you. But you notice, as he does, he doesn't just push them straight. It's as he moves, his wrists kind of slump around the glasses as they move. And he turns and turns his attention towards Judd again, doesn't raise his eyes. What would you like to drink? And Judd is I'll take a lemonade. And he goes off, starts filling up a glass, and Judd kind of nudges you both in the ribs. He's like, does this remind you of that guy from our Curse of Strahd campaign?
Oh, yeah, I hate that guy.
I love that guy.
Eric?
Yeah, Eric. I'm trying to
Don't even get me started.
What was it that Isaiah did to that guy? I mean, Isaiah, whenever he hated an NPC, he did something to him, but I can't remember exactly what it was that you did to that guy.
Probably pantsed him. I don't know.
And at that
I probably took his pants.
And at that point, slam, just kind of abruptly, glass of lemonade put down onto the bar, slid over towards Judd. And the guy then kind of just steps back and stands there for a couple seconds, not saying anything, and then turns and heads back off to the other end of the bar.
Well, somebody's dour.
He didn't even ask for my food order.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Judd kind of leans forward, is like, hey, do you got any menus? And the guy from the other side of the bar just mumbles, what would you like to drink?
We already got French fries. French fries? French fries, please.
And he turns and for the first time actually lifts his gaze up to meet you, and you can see his eyes are like this piercing golden color.
Ooh, man, I cannot do contacts. I tried it once. They look cool, but I cannot do those.
Yeah, me neither. My eyes are shaped weird.
And he starts stepping forward. What would you like to drink?
Are you okay, man? You seem extra dour.
And
I'm gonna chug my water.
yeah, as he's walking forward, he's kind of starting to stumble, and he puts one hand up on the bar and steps forward, and he actually like knocks over a few glasses onto the ground. You hear them shatter, and his knees fall down into the broken shards of glass. And he's just kind of like pulling himself along behind the bar with one hand still up, clinging to the wood. And you hear him like grunting as he moves closer. And you start to hear this like scraping, screeching noise. And you look down at his hand that is clutching onto the bar top. And you see the nails growing longer and sharper, the hair on the backs of his fingers getting thicker and denser as he continues moving in your direction.
Yeah, I'm gonna call the ambulance. This guy might be dying.
Ned?
Ned, you're a Boy Scout, right? Do you know CPR?
What's the woman in the corner doing?
She is looking directly at you guys, but she's kind of leaned back with her legs kicked up. She's in a booth. Her legs are kicked up onto the seat opposite her in the booth, and she's kind of looking at you guys almost expectantly.
I have chugged most of my water, but I have a whole mouthful still of water. I'm gonna spit it on the guy and run.
All right. So at this point, I'm going to bring in a fun little narrative device from an RPG called Public Access, which at the time I was putting this campaign together had just been reviewed on Quinn's Quest. And
Cool.
so you are doing something, Christian, that is going to be notably risky or spooky. So I'm going to ask you, what are you afraid is going to happen if you fail the roll you're about to make?
Water will somehow speed up his process of becoming scary.
All right. So I'm going to need
trying
you
to slow it down with holy water. My name's Christian. I spit water. It must be holy.
Yes, that's how it works.
Yeah, so I'm going to need you to roll to attack with clever, I think, because you're using your brain to try and connect these dots. And the thing that you just said you're afraid of happening is what you're rolling to hopefully not have happen.
Gotcha.
Crazy.
Now, this is the first time I've played Fate in I don't know how long.
Correct.
I roll all
3
4
billion
dice.
Yep, you're going to roll 4 fate dice. You're going to total up the pluses and minuses and add your clever, which is +3.
All right. And is there a set DC in this game?
I am going to roll to have him to defend with forceful
Okay.
using my fancy new custom improv tabletop dice that Sammy made for me for Christmas.
Looking
So dope.
good. Way to
So
go,
dope.
Sammy.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are so cool.
All
All
right.
right.
Eric the bartender gets a +4 to defend.
Wow. I rolled blank, blank, blank minus, which is a
Ooh.
2.
All
good.
right. Yeah, so when you fail on an attack, you do not get the effect you want. When your opponent succeeds on a defend, the opponent doesn't get what they want. And because you already told us what you were afraid was going to happen, you spew this it's almost like a spit take, a literal spit take. You look down, you see this hand, and it's growing to like these unnatural proportions. The fingers getting just a little bit too long, and just spit take, just gut reaction, and it sizzles, you hear, as it lands on the other side, and Eric screams out in pain, but it is a bestial scream. And he gets up from the ground, clasps both hands over his face, and in the yowling and the screaming, you can see the area where his hands are grasping is too far away from his skull, from what you would expect.
He's a gremlin.
Christian, I think you may still have mono. That doesn't look good.
I'm going to look around. This bar isn't the fanciest, is it?
It is not. And
They don't have like silverware.
well, let me actually look up real quick the Last Chance Bar and Grill, which is a real actual place in Island Park, Idaho.
I feel like I've been there.
You probably have.
Yeah, I mean, you lived up in West Yellowstone for how many summers?
A bunch.
Yeah,
I
dude,
did live in
apparently,
Island Park for a bit.
last time I was up in Island Park, Evan's parents have a cabin up there, and they told us apparently they are actually building a grocery store in Island Park.
Oh, finally.
So
that's awesome.
The people working at Playmill aren't going to have to drive all the way back to Rexburg to shop for groceries
Yeah.
anymore.
Let's
Okay.
go.
So, Last Chance Bar and Grill, it's got kind of like a... Have you ever been to one of those roadhouse buffets? Kind of like a Golden Corral-y sort of place?
Oh, yeah.
That's the sort of look
Okay.
that I'm getting from the interior of this bar and grill.
Sweet. That tracks.
I'm gonna back up and call for Ned again. Ned?
Yeah, you get no response from the back. At this point...
That's bad.
Yeah, at this point, Judd has stood up and is kind of backing away from the bar, and he reaches down and he grabs the bar stool with both hands and is kind of holding it off to one side like he's getting ready to swing.
I will look around and yeah, it's happening. I grab two of those, very basic restaurant steak knives with the plastic black handles and the serrated edges, and I'm just gonna get ready.
All right. And Connor, what are you doing while all this is happening?
I'm gonna grab my Coke bottle and go.
Smash it on the bar. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're both getting into kind of a defensive stance here.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say both of you.
Does he look wolfish?
He does. He finally takes his claws away from his face, and you can see there are like these red, angry, chemical burn looking splotches across this very wolfish face. And he looks at you, and those piercing golden eyes are burning more brightly now. So, both of you sort of taking up this defensive stance here. I'm going to have both of you roll to create an advantage real quick to give yourself a boost potentially to defend against whoever he attacks first. So,
All right.
Okay.
let's
I got a
see.
0 plus. Is it careful?
Yeah, let's think. So you used your root beer bottle, your Coke bottle there, rather. I'd say that's a pretty flashy move
Oh, cool.
to just smash the bottle on the bar. So I think we can give you that advantage. Christian, just picking up the nearest knives and getting ready. I think that seems maybe a bit more forceful to me.
I will say, in the back of my embryonic nerd brain, I'm looking around for anything silver.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, in fact, all right then, I'll say as you are preparing, since that's kind of your way that you're defending yourself, let's actually have you make that a clever roll to see if you can find something silver.
Okay, that is good.
Nice.
All right, Connor, how's that flashy roll looking?
I got a 0 plus 3.
Plus 3, okay.
Not bad.
And Christian?
Minus, plus blank. Plus 3 is 4.
4.
Yes.
Okay, so we got a regular success for Connor, success with style for Christian. So, Connor, we're going to give you a boost that you can use on your next roll that you make. And Christian, you look around and you're like, okay, it looks like there is behind the bar, kind of mounted, there's a bunch of these knickknacks. You've got the sort of typical things that there's a mirror that has Budweiser written across it. There's a Big Mouth Billy Bass. There's a couple of bottles and all sorts of things. There's like a deer head mounted over there. And you see there is what appears to be like an old fancy set of china and silverware from like somebody's grandparents who brought her across the plains with them to Idaho.
Nice.
So you have found the silver in this location, and you're going to get a boost with 2 free invokes on it.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Eric the bartender werewolf is going to roll to see who he wants to attack, and he wants to attack Connor. So he leaps over the bar. He like puts both hands out, grabs the far side of the bar from him, the one closest to you, and vaults up. You see his arms are twice as long now as they were before. And so he kind of cheetah-like, he gets up into the air and he throws his legs outwards on either side of his arms as he just vaults the bar in one go and propels himself directly towards you for an attack. How would you like to defend?